Hello Internet, and welcome back to A Traveling Knitter. This is chapter 37 and it is April 7th. It is a Sunday. It is 2:45. Yeah, we're back. This is a 3-week. I had originally planned and then it fell through, so whatever. I don't need to give you excuses. We all have lives. You know, your life is probably just as busy as mine. So let's just jump right on into it. There will probably be a lot of cuts. One is about to happen. Basically, it's allergy season, and I have a unique, I don't know how unique it is. I haven't heard of anyone else having this issue, but my doctor seemed to be totally aware of it. But my asthma really doesn't like my allergies. And when I was younger, I didn't really have allergies. It wasn't until literally like the last year of college that I started getting really bad allergies. I had some tail end of high school, but it wasn't until my senior year of college where I actually had to go to urgent care because I couldn't breathe. And he diagnosed me with, he said it, he had asked if I had allergy or asthma, and he's like, it might be that, but right now it's turned into bronchitis or something. I've had bronchitis 3 times now. Kind of ridiculous, but either way, my asthma reacts with my allergies and causes my asthma to be really bad, and otherwise I don't have any sort of issue. So basically, I have a very hard time breathing for the next month or so. I have pills. I haven't started taking them yet because it wasn't until yesterday when I realized that this is what it was. I've been taking Zyrtec every day, so I haven't had any allergy symptoms, which is why I was like, am I getting sick? So no, this is only my asthma, and maybe you have it, maybe this will help, but the way that I can tell it's my asthma is because it feels like someone is standing right here, like someone is just putting a lot of pressure right here. And also right here. So it feels like, not that someone's choking me, but that there is some sort of pressure, and clearly there's not. I'm wearing a low-cut shirt because I can't have anything touching me right now, right here. And when I take a deep breath, I feel like it's gonna stop because someone there's just pressure. So it's a weird feeling, and it doesn't like hinder me other than I can't take a deep breath, which I guess is hindering, but I'm so used to it at this point. It kind of just, it causes me to feel the need to cough a lot. So I'm constantly trying to clear my throat, even though there's nothing there, but it's because of that pressure. So randomness, but that's what I'm dealing with. So if there's a lot of cuts, it's because I'm clearing my throat obnoxiously for no real reason other than I feel like it needs to be cleared. So yeah, here's a cut. Okay, let's just jump into the completed quests, which we have one. Actually, we have 2 that I realized I didn't bring the second one in here, so I'll come back for that. First completed quest is my Willow Sweater. Oh my gosh, there's a little bit of a right here, but honestly, I don't care. I'm in love with this thing. I've worn it, here, I'll stand up. So I've worn it to work, and it was so warm, I'll be quite honest. It was really warm to wear this at work. So it's got drop sleeves, which I actually added additional stitches to because I'd read in the on Ravelry that a lot of people thought the arms were really tight. So when I was trying this on at knit night, I was like, oh my god, they're so right, the arms are really tight. I don't think I have abnormally large arms. Yeah, look at that flex. So I don't know, I was like, oh, it's kind of annoying that it's so small. So what I ended up doing, and I don't know, I was just kind of fudging it at this point. Let me widen it here for you. So this is the underside of the sleeve, and I don't know if you can tell. Gosh, this is pretty difficult to do. Let's pull it over my shoulder. Okay, so this is the side of the sleeve, right? And then this is and you can see it kind of curves here. That curve right there. So that's repeated on the other side. So then if I stretch it out, kind of see like that, these pieces are supposed to be joined, so it shouldn't be curving. So these are extra stitches that I picked up. That worked. That did the trick. Problem solved. It fits fine. Now, that doesn't bother me, and it kind of just looks like the detail of it. And plus, this is, a lot of this is like underneath. It's like in my armpit, so who's looking at it that closely? So yeah, this, oh my gosh. I will say, this is itchier than I thought it was going to be. I love this lace detail, and I don't want to wear shirts underneath it, but I have to. It's itchy. It's not unbearably itchy. Like, I was fine with it at work. It wasn't super bothersome, other than when I had a coat on. So when I wore the coat, it kind of pressed. It pressed the fabric to my skin, and that's when it was itchy. So this guy just won't be worn with a coat over it, which it's so warm that I think that's gonna be fine. I will have, my goal today is to do all of this, edit, upload, and take pictures, update Ravelry with this guy, because it is 68 degrees outside. Spring has sprung, people, and I love it. Aside from the earlier complaints of my allergies collaboration with Asthma, I love spring. I love summer more, but spring lets me know that summer is coming. Plan to take some pictures of this. I'll put my notes in of what I did. Now, I don't know if I'm just like terrible or not, but I reread the instructions and I don't see how I went wrong. So maybe there's an errata that I don't have or something, but either way, see how there's 3? On a lot of the pictures on Ravelry, there's 5. And in the picture in the pattern, there's 5. But when I read the instructions, the charts, there's 3. So I don't know. I mean, I think it looks fine. It would have just meant I would have had a little bit more of a drop sleeve, which on here doesn't look like it, but when I wear it, the drop sleeve extends to like, it's past this sleeve here. I'm really pleased. The only modification I would have done is I would have done a split hem, but it's not really pulling in, so I think it looks great. My complaint or concern was that it was gonna like pull in a little bit and then it was gonna be a bit poofy. Oh, another modification I did that probably noticed is the neckline. So in the pattern, you're supposed to knit ribbing, and I'm just not feeling it. Wasn't feeling it. I don't know. I felt like the ribbing was gonna detract from all of this. So what I ended up doing is just an I-cord bind off, and I love I-cord bind offs. This is, I don't know, well, it was more like an applied border I-cord. I've done I-cord bind offs on a couple projects, and I actually really enjoy that process. I really like it. I love how it kind of forms, and it doesn't bother me binding off like 600 stitches if I'm doing an I-cord bind off. I really like it. So to me, it feels like I'm still knitting and not casting off. And I find that my tension is really good because I'm still knitting. You know, I'm not traditional cast offing, if that's a thing. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. The yarn that I used for the last time was Vista Mountaintop by Classic Elite Yarns in the 6006 colorway, which is a natural gray. It is discontinued because the whole company is filed bankruptcy, went under, whatever, which is just so sad because I have a couple other skeins or lines of their yarns from the Mountaintop. I have one that's called Mountaintop Veil, and I bought it. It was the first yarn purchase that I made when I worked at a yarn store in the summer in college. I still have that yarn. I should knit it. So anyway, I love it. I had issues with the pattern, but all in all, it wasn't too bad. I would not recommend this as a first pattern, but it was relatively quick once I sat down to knit it, because it's like a worsted or DK sport. I don't know. I think it's worsted. It's a worsted weight, so it went by really fast. The sleeves, I had originally intended to purchase 9-inch circs, but I had both the sleeves done in like a day or two. So even with Amazon fast shipping, I would have had the sleeves done before I had received the needles. The thing, so I messed up with the, well, it's not really a mess up on the I-cord right here. This was wonky on the hem, but I was like worried that the I-cord would pull it in. So I did like 2 stitches for some of the big gaps. I shouldn't have. I should have just done 1 and it would have pulled this together and it would have been flat. Maybe someday I'll go back and fix it, but right now this doesn't bother me at all. And then I also did, I wasn't really sure how to connect the 2 I-cords. So I purposefully made it a detail. So it's like, so you could see that they're not connected and they overlap. So I did that on purpose because I've seen a couple like ready-made clothes. That's like so weird to say. Clothes I bought at the store. And they have, is this like an applied, is this bias tape? Whatever this is. So it's, you can even see it on this shirt. It's the hem that was attached. Sometimes shirts have it where they kind of connect like this. So I thought I would do that. And I think it looks adorable. Super pleased. In the back, so my I-cord on the back looks fantastic, if I do say so myself. Love it. I don't know if I would highly recommend the pattern since I did have some issues, but I would highly recommend the finished product. I love this sweater. I don't know if I love it more than my Zweig, but I do love it. And I have two sweaters that I've made for myself, which is pretty damn awesome. Okay, I'm gonna step out because I'm gonna grab the other things that I finished. My next finished object is something that you've seen before because it was a hoe last time, or half object. And that is my Don't Interrupt socks. And this is what they look like. So I'll just show you one of them. Oh, there's fuzz from my blanket on here. Right there. So these are a pattern by Megan Dial, and it is in one of the Knit Picks curated sock books. I've shown it before. I can't quite remember which one it was, but this pattern I picked out because I was interested with this heel construction. So this is a very, like, there's no typical heel flap and gusset. It's all increases and decreases. And then the actual stitch pattern is slip stitches. So it's slip stitches that pull the sock in naturally to have a curve. And then this, you've got your, basically those extra space. And these are probably my shortest socks that I've made for myself. It starts, you're supposed to do 1x1 normal rib, but I did twisted because I'm finding that I really enjoy the twisted rib. I think it looks very nice and polished. The yarn that I used is Claudia Handpainted yarns in Ocean Depth, which is a yarn that that a friend of mine gave to me a while back in, I don't know if I was doing the podcast yet or if it was just like reviews still, but I received a bunch of yarn from an old college friend of mine. Her Omi had passed away, and so she had a ton of just yarn that she was trying to find homes for, and me and a couple of my best friends, we are really big into knitting and crocheting, so it was like a bonanza. It was fantastic. This is one of the skeins that I grabbed. Because of the group of us, I was the one that knits the most socks, so it kind of just made sense for me to get a lot of the sock yarn. So yeah, I think it looks awesome, and I thought the sock was just really unique. Modifications that I did not do the toe that they said. Knitting socks is something that I do at work, and so I don't like to have instructions and stuff out because then I'm not working, I'm thinking about the knitting, so hence I feel bad about that. So I bring something that's really simple. So like my newsprint cowl was great for work knitting because it required zero thought. The sleeves required zero thought on that sweater. So doing the toe on this, I decided to just do a modified rounded toe. The reason why I say modified is because you don't have the same amount of stitches on the front and the back. So I had to modify it by doing some decreases and increases, to doing different numbers of decreases, just so that I could get them to match up and then do the standard rounded toe process with the Kitchener at the top. So about the fit, it's too much fabric. There's too much fabric here. So not the best, but it's not horrible, but I will not be knitting these socks again. The heel just, it doesn't work for me. Interesting concept. I would recommend anyone try it because they were really easy to do, pretty fun, but the end result is they do not fit my foot that well. Will I wear them? Absolutely. A little fabric isn't going to bother me, but it isn't perfect. So now on to my current quests, and the first one I'll mention, I have almost no work on it, and to be honest, I'm probably going to rip it out and start over again because this is what it looks like. Yeah, that tangle right there is the actual product. Let's get some of that down. There you go. So there it is. There's my Sizzle Pop shawl. Yeah, so I don't know how to brioche. I've never brioached before. I semi-understand the concept, and so I'm gonna start with Sizzle Pop as my first brioche pattern. It is not straight brioche, it's 2-color with decreases and increases, so we'll see. I like to challenge myself, plus the yarn is to die for. Sizzle Pop, and I printed out the pattern. I love having my printer working again, and it wasn't that it was broken, it was just the ink had dried up, so I bought ink, didn't use my printer for like a year, and then went to print something and it wouldn't print. And I was like, are you kidding me? I just bought ink. I just hadn't used it. So anyway, I love having a printer again. So this is the Sizzle Pop shawl by Knit Graffiti Designs, who is Lesley and Robinson. I've wanted to knit this since I saw Candace of Pin Feathers and Pearls, and she finished hers. It's beautiful. And Volenvine, Kristen Lera, she had started one. I think she frogged it or something, but I loved hers. I tried to catch an update with those colors, but one of the colors is Mauled by Bears, which she doesn't dye a lot. So, I mean, 2 years trying, and then I was like, I'll just find something else. So I've been wanting to knit this for a long time, and I put it on my Make 9, and I'm starting it, and I'm so excited. And funny enough, the Grocery Girls, Tracy and Jody, who I love watching, they're actually one of the first knitting podcasts that I watch. 2 girls from the Notorious podcast, which doesn't, they haven't uploaded anything in years, so they're probably just busy with their teaching lives. But they had mentioned the Grocery Girls like in every episode, so I was like, what? Who are the Grocery Girls? What is that? So then I watched, and I haven't looked back since, if that's a good reference. They are hilarious, and they remind me, and this is no way in a negative way, I don't want this to be negative, it isn't, but they remind me of when I was younger, and my mom and my neighbor, my best friend's mom, who I loved, would just sit and chat, and I would be like allowed to sit and partake in the conversation. And I don't know, it was nice to be asked your opinion or to be brought into a conversation when you were not an adult. So it reminds, I'm an adult, I am an adult, but it just kind of brings me back to that, and I really love it. And I am younger. I'm in my mid-20s. Actually, I'm in my late 20s now that I think about it, since I had a birthday. But I'm not going through menopause. I don't have kids. I live by myself, which I actually really enjoy. And so it's just, I'm nowhere near where they are in their phase of life, but I still find it so utterly relatable. And I love it. I love them. And I know they love Dove chocolate, and people keep sending it to them. Otherwise, I would send them some Dove chocolate. But I'm thinking I can send them some German chocolate, because I love a specific kind of chocolate from Germany, and it's so good, which they actually sell it here, but I feel like most people don't try it because it has the word kid in it. It's Kinderschokolade, and it's got like a boy on it. I love that chocolate. Oh my gosh. Kinder Country is actually my favorite. So if anyone wants to send me chocolate, I love Kinder Country. tangent, my goodness. So anyway, this is the Sizzle Pop shawl. I'm knitting the triangle shawl, not the rectangle. And the yarns that I'm using are Magpie fibers. And where's the... I've got napkins in here because I think I took this to knit night and lately I've been eating before I go. So, napkins. Okay, so I've got two different styles of ball tags. I have this, which was hanging, and then this is the ball band. But either way, they're both Swanky sock, which is 80-10-10. And we have Velvet Underground, which looks black on the camera, but it is a very deep purple. Like, it's purple. It's not, you can't tell. It looks black, but it's purple and it's beautiful. And this one is London Rain or London Fog? London Rain. This is a beautiful gray with blues, like a deep jewel blue and some bronzy browns. They had a similar one that instead of having the blue had purple, but I just really wanted this to not to pick up on colors on here. But I still think they're both relatively jewel tones. This one not as much of a jewel tone, but definitely the blue in here. I think they're gonna pop and look beautiful. The needle I'm knitting with is an Addy lace, and it is it's a 3.5 millimeter, which is that a 4 in US? Yes, it is. A 3.5 is a 4. I've actually recently taken these needles off of a different project because I started this goal of clearing my needles, which I did. The only thing that is still on my needles is a design, which doesn't count, and a sweater that has been on the needles for not as long as the other sweater that I frogged. That's right, I have frogged my Que Sera cardigan that I started sophomore year of college. So that's sophomore, junior, senior. 1, 2, 3. That's 8 years ago, and I have frogged it. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yarn. I think I might even just remake the Que Sera, but start fresh, because I still really like the pattern. Okay, that is my Sizzle Pop shawl, which I am pretty pumped about. I'm hoping to get some good traction with that one this week, because I'll get to it in the Life as I See It section, but I am in for some traveling this month. Next projects, I'll talk about both of them at the same time because they are the same pattern but different yarns. And it is this little baby cardigan. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. This is the... I've been moving around in my chair so much that my watch thinks I'm walking, but that's okay. I was at like, I was almost at 10,000 before I started this, but this is the Garter Yoke Baby Cardi by Jennifer Hoel, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry, and I'm using it for a basis for the sweater. So it's a garter yoke, so you've got garter stitches here and then stockinette here and then a garter border at the bottom, and it's a raglan, so you've got, here's the raglan increases, and then these are currently on scrap yarn, placeholder yarn, so that I'll be able to knit the sleeves. And then I just finished the garter button bands. So I don't have the buttons, but I have this was where the buttons will attach, and then I have the buttonholes. Can you see the buttonholes? There we go. You can see the light through them. So that is what it looks like. I love that I switched the colors here, so it doesn't match perfectly with the speckles, but the speckles have a bit of that, like on the back here, have a bit of that seafoam green moss color plus blue. And I had the green. I do have a blue that could match, but I was feeling the green. It looks adorable. So the pattern is one size other than if you change needles and yarn. And this is supposedly for a 6 month to 1 year. One of my friends just gave birth to a baby, and I really wanted to make her a sweater, but I wanted her baby to be able to wear the sweater for longer, so I decided to go with a larger size. Now this is pretty big for a newborn, I think. I'm not sure, babies baffle me with the size, but either way, I think it's a little bit too big, or a lot too big. So my plan is to get the buttons, sew them on, get the sleeves, and press it a little bit so that the back stops ruffling up, and then I'm gonna make socks. So I think I'm gonna do 2 pairs of little baby socks, like tiny socks, so that the baby can wear the socks now, and then the sweater next year when the baby is a bit bigger. And the baby, his name is Lincoln. I don't think she'll mind that I say his name, his first name, but his name is Lincoln, and I think this looks adorable. And so I started 2 sweaters at the same time because they were doing a surprise for the gender. So they didn't know what it was gonna be. So I also started this one, which is like a sherbety pinky orange. This is a pain in the ass to knit with. Oh my gosh, I hate it. And I hate the increases, really. So this is, I have the ball band. Thought I brought it over. I didn't. Oh, I guess I can. To come back to this one, this is Loops and Threads Snuggly Wuggly Mini Dot. And it is 100% acrylic, but it is like, it's a baby yarn, so it's softer. And then the green is Impeccable, which is also from Michaels. And I really like that. I'm working through my acrylic stash, and now that so many people are having babies, acrylic tends to just be the better thing to use. At least one of the girls in my knit group, she said she made sweaters for her baby out of acrylic, and that's what she preferred because it's easier to wash. So that's where I was going. And so I started this one in pink because, well, maybe it's a girl and she'll want like a orangey one. Now the green blue one, that could have worked for the girl too, but really, oop, I messed up. But really, I just want to get rid of some of this yarn. And this sweater did not take the full skein. I have this much left of the full skein, which is enough for the sleeves, definitely. I also have this much, which is from the blanket. So I had bought all these skeins to make a blanket, which I did make and donate, and I still had 2 and a tiny bit skeins left. So I'm not sure. I might just continue to make more sweaters. I was thinking, I'm all over the place, but I was thinking of designing a sweater with a really cool cable pattern in the back. So I thought I could do, and this yarn I think would look fine with cables. It's not too crazy. So I was thinking of doing that. But anyway, I've got another one here. And this one I'm working on a size 3. The other one is a size 4 for the needles. And I decreased the needle size because this is just thinner. It's thinner yarn. I want to say this is Bernat. My goodness, I could have sworn I brought... There it is. Yeah, so this is Bernat Baby Coordinates. I got it for $2 at Walmart. And I think this should, oh, it's 75.2% acrylic, 22.2% rayon, and 2.6% nylon. I appreciate being so exact. This is 388 yards. Yeah. I think we're looking at 2 sweaters out of this baby. No pun intended. I don't think I'm gonna make anything else out of it, like a matching hat or something. No thank you. I think I'll just work on some sweaters with these. So those are my other quests that I'm on right now, the other things that I'm working on. and put that all away. And even though I don't know of anyone expecting a girl right now, I love the idea of having sweaters at the ready. And I have quite a few people that are pregnant in my life right now. But again, none of them are like really, really close. One is a supervisor that I used to work with a lot, so she is due in the summer, and then another one of my friends is due, but she now lives in Cincinnati. I barely ever get to see her, but it feels really nice to have like prepared baby gifts. I also still have the blanket that I made last year that is waiting in the wings if I need to gift out a blanket. So next, let's move into On the Horizon. So it's in my Mrs. Brown's bag, and I've got an adorable unicorn who is knitting, and I got this at the Knit Picks booth at Stitches Midwest. And what I have in here is this. I don't know really how to pronounce this. Mosa Mjokul Gustais. It is yarn that my best friend got me in Iceland, and my intention for this is either a hat or gloves. And I think I want to do like some sort of nice rustic hat and maybe line it with fleece. That could be something really cool to do. I've never lined anything with fleece, so I'm up for the challenge. It's a pink and sometimes a very light petal pink, which I think will look really interesting. So some sort of hat is what I plan to make with this. Not really sure what hat, but that's what these are gonna be. I've kind of enjoyed working off of my Make 9 and then jumping away from it. So like Willow was just finishing up a project, but I made the newsprint cowl from my Make 9. I'm basically about to start the Sizzle Pop from Make 9, and then I kind of offset it with like those baby sweaters or the hat that wasn't on there yet. Also, I think the sale should still be happening by the time I upload this, but Boyle & Knitwork is having a 30% off sale. Boop, boop, boop. So I bought pretty much every pattern that I didn't have from her that I still needed to get, minus a couple accessories. I didn't purchase the accessories just yet because I just was feeling sweaters. So I grabbed a lot of her sweaters. I already have Zweig, and I added the Soldotness, which I think would look really great with some of the dresses that I have in my wardrobe or that I like to wear. I tend to wear a lot of dresses that have like the seams a little bit higher or just look really nice with a cropped sweater, so I'm really excited for that. And then I've got the Sepia, which I really, really want to make, and then another one that's similar to it, so I'm pretty pumped with my pattern purchases there. So let's jump into a novel idea, and I don't really have a book I want to talk about, so I thought I would just talk about this Pompom magazine. Well, let's just keep it all knitting related, shall we? So I've been really looking at this one from afar, and so if you just glance at this, doesn't this look like Chloe Moretz something? She's an actress. I think this girl looks like her. Only in this picture though. If you look at the other pictures of her modeling, like here, I don't think it looks like her at all. But this one does. I love this one. I love this Pompom mag because this one has almost every single thing in here I would knit. I'm a fan of that. Waffle. I'm not sure if I like the sleeve length. I think maybe I would make it longer. Not sure, but I don't know how I feel about the sleeves. But I do love the stitch pattern there. And then of course the real reason I bought, oh, there's a different pattern here. There's a hat, which I think looks, you know, it's simple but really nice. And then this sweater is also gorgeous. I could see that in like a deep green. Beautiful. The reason why I bought it though is this one. And I saw a pattern, or I saw a color scheme of this someone had knit, and they had done like a neon yellow green color, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna do, haven't decided what, but I want to do a highlighter yellow. I'm thinking of Electric Feel from Molly of a Homespun, and then a deep midnight blue, and I'm not sure what, and I think maybe a green, I'm not really sure, but something like that. Pretty pumped for that one. And then these gloves are really cute. I really like them, and I think these, the color that they're in, perfect. And then there's this one, which is, you know, you can never go wrong with a cabled hat, I think. And then this sweater. I love this sweater. This looks like something I would buy at Target. It's just a nice, large, waffle, open stitch sweater. And I love the 4 buttons there, kind of reminiscent of a suit. And then this is the, I think this is, no, it's not the last pattern. But then we have this sweater. This is probably the only, this is my least favorite thing, I think, that's in here. And I think it might be linen. Yeah, linen. So I'm just not into that. And then these socks are super fun. These would look, I think these would look great in a bright green and blue color. And then this is the last one. This is another sweater, which also I think simple, but really nice. And I would probably make it long sleeves. So those are the patterns in this Pompom mag. And I just, like I said, I like pretty much every single one of them. So I had to get it. I wanted this one. And when you break it down, I think the individual pattern is like $6 or $7. This was $18. And then you get all of those other patterns and the advertisements. It's kind of crazy, but knitting magazines, I love the advertisement that's in them. I love going through and seeing it, and it just gives me ideas of places to buy yarn. And with that, it takes us to Life as I See It. So I had mentioned there's going to be quite a lot of traveling in my life coming up. I am going to be on site next week. I'll be in Ohio still, but I'll be up north. And then the following week, I will be in Louisville for a little bit. We have a little bit of break from traveling. And then May, again, is full of traveling. So I'll be on vacation, which I'm super pumped about. I'm going to go see Blackpink in concert in New Jersey. And we're just going to make a whole thing of it. So we're going to be there for a week, me and my friends. And right after that, I'm going to Nashville for work. So I'm really excited about that because I'm going to get to see a friend of mine who started the same month that I did. He started a couple weeks after me. So I haven't seen him in a couple years. We do see each other every now and then, but I haven't seen him for a bit. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then I believe in between that is my knitting group. I think we're going down to Louisville? Or are we going to we're going to Lexington. So we're going to go down there for a yarn festival. Pretty excited about that. And then I will be in Houston for work again. So I'm going to a ton of places this summer, or just this spring. That's really spring. So a lot of places, but I'm pretty excited because all of those travelings for work give me a chance to save up a little bit of extra money, because normally there is overtime involved, as well as anything that I don't spend on food I get to keep. And so I've had a really, really big push to pay off my student loans, and I'm gonna do it. It's happening this year. I'm set technically I will have paid them off. If I just leave it right now and just do monthly, I will pay them off in November, but my plan is to pay them off at the end of summer. So any little bit helps. And I'm so ready to have those paid off. It's gonna be really nice to be debt free and not have, you know, $600 of your paycheck every month go towards something that you already have on your wall. I'm pretty pumped about it. Other than that, I have been reworking my craft room. So normally this guy right here used to be on the opposite side over there, but I purchased a mattress. Finally, I had purchased my bed frame last summer and I just never got around to getting a mattress. I'd been saving up, and every time I'd saved up, something would happen and I'd have to use that money instead of my emergency money. So it's fine. So I finally bought a mattress. It's being delivered on Wednesday when I am not here. So one of my friends, or one of my coworkers, lives here in my apartment complex, and we have everything to get in is a key fob, so there's no turning of keys or anything. So I just gave him one of my key fobs, and he's just gonna push it inside for me so that no one steals my mattress. Pretty excited about that. So what that has meant is that I have set up my old bed frame in here. You're actually standing on top of the bed frame. To make everything fit better, I needed to move this guy onto this wall and push my desk further that way, and my bed is going to be in this corner over here. So we still have a ton of space. I am not going to leave my sewing table out. I'll just have it so I can pull it out whenever I need to, and it looks pretty good. The nice thing about rearranging your yarn is that you get kind of inspired about what you have and what you want to make, and it really helps me want to knit from my stash. So looking at my yarn now, you know, there's so many ideas in my head of things that I want to make, especially with my acrylic, because I would love to knit through my acrylic. I have so much of it from ideas and craft shows and things like that, but I really do want to work through that so that all of this becomes not acrylic. For the most part, though, I will say most of it isn't acrylic. This, I don't know if you can see it, this one right here probably has the most acrylic, but even then, a lot of this isn't. So I've got, what is this? I bought this when I was out in the field, and this does have acrylic, but it's 50% wool, acrylic, viscose. I had planned to make gloves with this. And then I also have, there's some alpaca in here. That's these two right there. I bought those when I was in Australia. So, and I think they were 25, yeah, they were 25 Australian dollars. So it's about 50 bucks sitting right there. I've got Barocco Celtic, which I bought on eBay. I used to like buy yarn on eBay. Oh, it's falling. Because I would see like a good deal or what I thought was a good deal and I would buy it. So I have that. There's some Knit Picks here. There's some Knit Picks palette. This one here, other than what's sitting here, which is bare Knit Picks palette that I was dyeing because I would love to dye yarn. Some other things though, we've got Loops and Threads Joy DK, which I thought was really interesting when they were selling DK. So I got these. I got one and then I got a different color. And then aside from that, the rest of this yarn in here is single sock yarn that is not, that isn't planned specifically for anything. So like this guy, Dragon Gem, Vivid Yarn Studios. Planned for a sock. Oop, look at that. Fix that up. This cubby up here is sweater yarn, sweater quantity. This, yeah, you can see, this is sock yarn. This is 2 baby yarns, so I was thinking of making a sweater. And then over here, this is all my single ply. So in the front, it's like commercial single ply, and then in the back, there is indie dyed yarn. This right here is all multiple skeins that go together to make shawls. And down there are my solid semi-solids, and then sock yarns. And then if we go, so this cubby, and then there's a cubby underneath it, those are my non-fingering weights. That's sport, DK, and worsted, and bulky is down there. And that was a random tour of my yarn. Over here is scrapbooking. Yeah, we're not gonna get into that. But yeah, that's what's going on in my life. And I hope to stay on track. I hope to get back to the 2-week schedule. But thanks everyone for watching. If you have any questions, write them down below. Send me a message. I am Lulu is Crazy on Ravelry. That is also my personal Instagram. We also have an Instagram for the podcast, which is a traveling knitter podcast. We also have a group on Ravelry. Just search a traveling knitter in the groups tab and you'll be able to find it. Currently I'm the only one there, but that's okay because whatever. And if you want to follow me on Goodreads, I think I'm Lulu is Crazy there, or Steph. I'm not sure. I think I put Lulu is Crazy in my handler so that it'd be easier to find. And I think that's it. Thanks so much everyone for chatting with me or sitting here, and hopefully you were knitting. And I will see you guys later, and it will probably be even warmer than it is today. But thanks everyone. I will see you guys later. Bye!